Hey guys, I'm Jackie. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I manage my anxiety on a daily basis. And since using this approach, along with some other tools, my anxiety has become so much more manageable and doesn't control my life anymore. So I touched on this a little bit in my last video, but today I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. And I have basically personified my anxiety and am currently working on mending my relationship with her. Because up until recently, I was scared of her, quite honestly. I pushed her away and I didn't want anything to do with her. But she is part of my life, so I'm gonna make the best of it. So I picture my anxiety as kind of a disheveled version of me. And I've heard other people actually give their anxiety like a real normalish name, like Greg or Ashley. But my anxiety's name is just anxiety with a capital A. So in addition to anxiety, this kind of frazzled looking version of me, I also envision a home. And really all the home is a living room with a front door. And anytime anxiety is concerned or worried or senses any danger of any kind, she's knocking at my door. So the thing about my dear friend anxiety is that she cares so much that if she knocks and I don't answer, her concern grows and she keeps on knocking until I answer. But sometimes I don't answer. And if I ignore her long enough, she's gonna bust through my door like a tornado. I might butcher her name, but I've watched a ton of videos by Tara Brock, I think, and she says that fear can trigger reactivity, fight or flight, or it can be a call to deepen awareness. So when anxiety knocks on my door and I let her in, I can respond one of three main ways. For life-threatening danger, I'll usually respond one of two ways: fight or flight. But the most appropriate response most of the time is going to be option 3, which is to deepen awareness. So I'll give you an example of how I have responded to anxiety in different ways. When I used to work in downtown Austin, I would walk to lunch quite often. And one day, broad daylight in the middle of a work week, as I'm walking to lunch, I see a woman not too far in front of me aggressively walk up to a man that she was clearly not with or didn't know. So since she was continuing in my direction, I chose to veer off as far away as I could get from her and look down at my phone so I did not make eye contact. Well, that ended up not being the correct choice because out of nowhere, she walked straight up to me and punched me in the chest. Obviously, anxiety is freaking out at this point. And together we chose flight. Get the hell out of there, and continued on our way. So after this interaction, anxiety and I were, of course, a little bit frazzled, but we didn't really know what else to do, so we kept walking to lunch. And we were on our way to one of my favorite ramen places downtown. And as soon as we walked into the door, the smell of ramen took over and we relaxed. Until we were brought a menu. And anxiety started up again. Do we really want ramen? Isn't this really unhealthy? Is it even for sure vegan here? There's got to be way too much sodium in this. And this is really expensive. Are you sure you should be doing this? Again, I can respond in one of 3 ways: fight, flight, or deep awareness. And although my physical body habitually responded to this threat, getting tight and tense, ready to fight or flight, I realized that her concerns were probably not life-threatening. So I honestly answered all her questions, thanked her for her concern, and then we enjoyed some ramen. So I've also noticed that anxiety has patterns of when she likes to show up at my door. For one, she definitely likes caffeine. Anytime I'm drinking coffee, she shows up. She also really likes to come by super early the next day after a night of drinking. So step one, do I answer the door or do I not answer the door? And let's be honest, sometimes you're really busy. You are truly in the middle of doing something. Whether you're in the middle of work, making dinner, bathing your child, or you've just had enough for the day and you want to zone out and watch TV. But the truth is, she's going to be there until you let her in. And with time, she's going to grow more and more intense. So at the time, it does feel easier to ignore her, but I've learned that the best choice for step one is to answer the door as soon as I can. Step two, once I let her in, do I continue trying to ignore her? Do I yell at her for disturbing my peace? Or do I actually listen to what she has to say? And since she is my friend now, I'll treat her just like all my other friends and take time, stop what I'm doing, and listen. So step three, are her concerns real? And how do I handle them? And sometimes she needs to just come in and get a hug, some attention, some love, and just someone to hear her and see her. Anxiety always has my back. She has good intentions. She is here to protect me, to keep me safe, and to love me. So this video might have been super weird and strange to you, but it's what works for me. And I've kind of figured out what works best for me by just watching a ton of videos, taking training courses, and just talking to other people that also have anxiety. So if you too have anxiety, I really hope this video helps you, or at least encourages you to do your own research and just be open to ideas of what may or may not help you. And if you have any tips on how you manage anxiety, please share them because I would love to hear about them. But as always, thank you so much for listening. Please let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns, whatever you got, throw them at me. Thank you again. Namaste.